Good morning, students. Welcome back to online classes. Today we are going to start another unit, Unit 5. And that unit is themed as being healthy. That means we need to keep our health good. We need to stay healthy. So medicine is the science and art of maintaining health and healing diseases. Healing means curing diseases. Can you match these notable developments in the field of medicine with the people associated with them? Like in 1901, identification of human blood types. It was discovered by Carl Landiston. In 1928, discovery of penicillin was done by Alexander Fleming. In 1952, first successful polio vaccine was developed. It was done by Jonas Salk. In 1953, discovery of structure of DNA was discovered by James Watson and Francis Crick. In 1967, first human transplant was done by Christian Barnard. So all these are the famous scientists or developers who made history by developing something in the field of medicine. Now choose the correct answer. Now there are some words given to you. ECG means electrocardiogram. Name of the oath taken by physicians to observe medical ethics is derived from Hippocrates. The father of surgery is Sushruta. And the World Health Day is celebrated every year on 7th April. Now, here is some activity for you students. Some natural herbs and remedies are said to treat certain ailments like headaches and common cold. Do you know of any such natural remedies? When you have a cold, does your mother give you a ginger tea? Yes or no? You need to write. When you get hurt, does your grandmom apply turmeric on your wounds? Yes or no? When you have a stomach ache, does your grandmother give you a few carom seeds to chew? Yes or no? Carom seeds means ajwain. And since the turmeric has healing powers, antibiotics, so that's why it is applied on the wound. And ginger is good for cold and cough. Ginger is mixed with honey. It is supposed to cure cold and cough, common cold and cough. Now let's begin the section A of our unit. That's a poem. House with the Grey Gate. There in the title itself, there is a poetic device called alliteration. G sound is repeated here. House with the grey gate. Now this poem deals with the life of old age people, their hope, their pattern of life, their sensitivity, their routine. And we need to ponder over one thing, that we should not leave our parents behind. We should not leave our old people behind. They are an important part of our lives. We have been an important part of their lives, so we should not leave them behind. We should not leave them alone. Don't ever give them up on them and let them live a lonely and a hopeless life. So that's the basic theme of the poem. That's the basic message of the poem, that do not leave your elders. Always make them stay close to you so that they can have happiness in their ending days also. So now this poem has been written by Tabish Kher. Tabish Kher, as you know, is an Indian English author who lives in Denmark. He was born in Ranchi and grew up in his hometown, Gaya. He has received All India Poetry Prize for some of his poems. Now, Tabish Khair is known for his poems and stories, and those are based on nostalgia of past, alienation, and searching for self-worth. These are the basic themes in his poems and stories. So, let's begin with the poem. In my street, there is a white house with a little grey gate that is slightly off one hinge and always open. An old woman sits on its porch and knits, looking up when the gate creaks with age and wind, expecting someone, though no one comes, nor has come for years. An old man sometimes tidies up the faded garden, where the shrubbery has spread, refusing to be weeded out. Now, this is a small poem having 2 stanzas only, and the stanzas are uneven. First stanza has 7 lines and the second stanza has 6 lines. So now first of all, look at the rhyming scheme. First one, the grey gate, we give it A. Second line ends with open, we give it B. Third line ends with knits, so it doesn't rhyme with any, so we give it C. So fourth line ends with wind, give it D. And the fifth line ends with years, we give it E. And sixth line ends with garden. It rhymes with open, garden, un. So we give it B. And the last line, 7th line, ends with we did out. So it is not rhyming with anyone, so we give it F. So the rhyming scheme becomes A, B, C, D, E, B, F. That means the second line and the 6th line, they rhyme with each other. None of other lines, they rhyme with each other. So, in my street means poet, where the poet lives. There is a white house with a little grey gate. That he says that I have come to a new building, I have come to live in a new house, and in my street I find a little house with a grey gate that is slightly off one hinge and that is slightly broken from the one hinge. Hinge means जो उसके जो knobs हैं, जो जहाँ से वो joint है wall के साथ, that hinge is broken and it is always open, and this gate remains always open. An old woman sits on its porch and knits. So, the poet says that he always finds an old woman sitting on the porch and she is always knitting. See, you can see in the picture that there is an old woman. She is sitting on the porch and she is knitting the sweater. Looking up when the gate creaks with age or wind. And always she keeps looking towards the door, gate, which creaks. Creaks means makes sounds because of old age or with the blowing of the wind. So there are 2 reasons for creaking of the door of the gate. One is old age, because it has grown old, it has become old, and second one is due to blowing of the wind, the gate moves. So whenever the gate moves, either because of the age or because of the wind, the old woman looks towards the gate, expecting someone, and she looks as if she is expecting someone to come, though no one comes. Although nobody comes, nor has come for years, और बहुत सालों से कोई नहीं आया है, nobody has come for years. The old man, and there is an old man who sometimes tidies up the faded garden. He cleans that faded garden, where the shrubbery has spread, refusing to be weeded out. And that old man, what is the job of the old man? He always seen cutting down that shrubbery, but that shrubbery is so stubborn that it refuses to be cut down. So so the old man and the woman, the couple, is like a shrub in the old house, who refuse to leave the house, who refuse to be cut down, who refuse to leave the old ways of their life, and they want to stay in that house forever. And the old woman keeps expecting someone to come. Someone means their children, might be their children or their family, their friends, to come and meet them. So that shows how lonely they are, how hopeful they are that somebody will definitely one day will come to meet them. So let's continue with the second stanza. Ever since I moved here, I have seen this little white house with the old man and the old woman and the old pattern of life, refusing to be weeded out from this skyscraping street where two people had grown roots, once scattered seeds. And now, with a hope stubborn as weeds, still peer through curtained windows when the gate creaks. Now look at the rhyming scheme first. So, first line is house, so we give it A. Pattern of life, B. Skyscraping street, C. Once scattered seeds, D. Weeds, D. And gate creaks, E. So, in these 6 lines, the rhyming scheme is A, B, C, D, D, E. That means 4th and 5th line are matching with each other, rhyming with each other, and the 5th line, last 6th line is different. So the rhyming scheme of second stanza is A, B, C, D, D, E. So now let's see the explanation of this stanza. So in this stanza, the poet says that since he has come here to live in this street, he has seen this little white house where an old man lives with his wife, an old woman, and they continue to follow the old pattern of life. Their routine is always same. They never change their routine, their pattern of life, their routine of life, their daily process of life is same. From many years, they keep on following the same routine. And they refuse to be weeded out. Weeded out means give up. They refuse to change their life. They are happy the way they are. They are comfortable the way they are. Whatever they are doing, whatever jobs they are doing, their bodies allow, they are happy with doing those jobs. And they refuse to change that. It doesn't matter to them. The whole world is changing. The whole street has been changed to skyscraping buildings, like high-rising buildings have been made. But they refuse to give up their house, because that is the house where they started their life as a couple. They made so much memories. Their children were born there. They grew up their children together with such happiness and such love. So that's why they do not want to leave their house, because they had so many lovable, fond memories in that house. And they do not want to go and live somewhere else and start making new memories in that house, because they are not at that stage of life. They have become old and they do not know for how long they are going to live anymore. So that's why they want to stay where they started their life. जब हम प्लांट को, कोई पौधा है, एक जगह पे हमने एक बीज बोया, बीज से वो पौधा बना, पौधे से वो पेड़ बना, तो अगर हम उस पेड़ को अपरूट करके कहीं दूसरी जगह प्लांट कर देंगे, तो देयर आर चांसेस more than 90% chances that that tree will become dry. वो मर जाएगा पेड़, क्योंकि आपने उससे जमीन छीन ली है. Same way, these old people, they do not want to leave their roots. Leave that house where they started their lives, where their roots are. Like the sentence, the line in the poem, refusing to be weeded out from this skyscraping street. Skyscraping street means these high-rising building, the development. They do not want to change with the developing city. They have nothing to do with the development. They just want to live peacefully in their old house. They want to live in that old house where two people had grown roots. Grown roots means spent their own life, started their life as a couple. Their children were born there. Their children grew up in that house and once scattered seeds. And once they had scattered seeds means their children were born there. Seeds are like their children. They had their children in that house. And now with the hope stubborn as weed. And they have a hope which is as stubborn as weeds. The weed is shrubbery, which is stubborn, which refused to be cut out, which refused to be weeded out. And their hope is also stubborn. They still have hope. Every day they keep hoping and peep out through the curtain windows whenever the gate makes the sound. Whenever the gate creaks, they still peep out from the window that somebody was going to come and meet them. So that's all in the poem, children. I hope you have understood the poem. In the next video, we'll discuss the textual question answers. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.